Hello, I'm Rebecca Flaherty and this is another weekly pattern tutorial to inspire you and get those all creative ideas blooming in your head. This week we're going to be making this pineapple pattern here. You can grab the Procreate stamp brush from my freebie library on my website, and as always I'll be using my pattern maker canvas and brush set to sketch out and build this pattern. If you don't have the pattern maker canvas yet, you can still follow along. Just make yourself a square document. This one here that I've got is 300 dpi. And you'll need to, on an empty layer, the quickest way to make a diamond like this one that I have here is just to tap, fill the layer, tap to transform, rotate it 45 degrees and fit it to canvas. Now we're not actually going to use this diamond because it needs to be a transparent one, just an outline, but we're going to use this to draw around. So I'm going to add a layer above, and then with any old brush you just need to draw diamond. Doesn't matter if it's a wobbly one, it just needs to go all the way off all four edges. You can like snap it and make fancy straight lines if you want to on yours. It needs to go all the way off the edges. If yours comes up against the edge like that, that's not going to work. We need to be able to grab all the way to the edge when we tap to transform. So yours needs to go all the way off the edges in all of the directions. So once you've got your empty diamond on an empty layer, you're ready to jump in and follow along from here, even though I'm going to be using the pattern maker canvas. So that one can be deleted. I'm going to get rid of this one now. I'm going to go down into my sketch folder and I'm going to start on the draw here first layer. This is an empty layer. The one underneath has the diamond on it, so if you've drawn your own diamond, add a layer above and we'll start working on that one. I'm going to grab my fruit stamp brush from this brush set here. You can get this on my freebie library, plus the palette that I'm going to be using to make this pattern and all the other patterns in this series. Now I remember from the other tutorials that this comes out massive to start with, so let's change it to something like 30%. Okay, that's not too bad. We want that a bit bigger. I think because pineapples, like compared to all the other fruits that I've drawn so far, they are a lot bigger. I think probably I do want these a bit bigger, but maybe this is just going to be the big and bold pattern where you see the repeat more easily, and that's going to be okay. And then, so what percentage do we have on that brush? 49. So let's grab the other pineapple and make this one 49% too, and then we can just use those to duplicate around the canvas. So let's turn off snapping and magnetics and let's have a go at placing these. So I'm just using the select tool to transform and move these around. I haven't done a test run for this pattern, so I've got no idea how this is gonna come out. Sometimes I do test runs for patterns, but not always, and this is one of the occasions when I haven't. So we'll see what we come up with. Probably stick with those, and I'm going to merge those down onto the sketch diamond, and then we'll get the others in place around the outside, and then we'll see how this works. It may be that we have to start again and make these a bit smaller. We'll find out. So let's duplicate this one, tap to transform, and we'll turn snapping and magnetics back on again. And we'll move that one over there, and one over there. And every time I move these, I'm looking for those orange lines intersecting in the corners so that I know they're snapping exactly 1800 pixels across and 1800 pixels up, which is half of my 3600 pixel canvas width. If you've never made a pattern using the diamond method before and this is all completely new to you and you're already feeling confused, then stop this video here, go and check out this video which gives you a really in-depth introduction into how and why this method works, and then come back here and tackle this one. But if you stick with me, I promise it will all make sense in the end. But if it's going to annoy you that it doesn't make sense until the end, if you've never done this before, then maybe go and check that other one out first. So let's pinch those top 4 layers together. So let's hide this one. So I've pinched those 4 layers together, and as you can see that's made a new diamond, and then we've still got this one at the bottom. I'm going to invert the colours in my top one so I can see what's what, and then we'll have a look and see if we can fit any more of these pineapples in here. So I'm going to add a layer above the red layer. So we've got 2 of the taller, thinner ones. Let's get one of the shorter, rounder one. Let's put one of those in. Turn snapping and magnetic off to do this. I'm going to merge this down, and because I just want to test out this, I would want to move that, just that one little bit. I'm going to do something slightly different to what I normally do. I normally would do all 4 corners all in one go, but because it's literally just this one here I want to move and put that one up there to do it, I'm just going to, with snapping and magnetics on, just do this one. So now I can see where that comes down onto here, and then I can move this one down. Let's tap invert on that, and on this red layer, oops, with freehand select tool, I can draw around this one and move this one. And it's okay to have like that diamond line attached to it, as long as we don't cut off the corners. It's okay to cut out or erase parts of this diamond here. So let's turn snapping and magnetics off and put this one in. Let's try it this way first. So I'm gonna get rid of the green layer and we'll remake that with the corrected bits from this red layer. So I put snapping and magnetics back on, and I'm just gonna repeat moving it around like this. Pinch those 4 together, and before I invert it, it's actually not looking too bad. To be honest, I think if we move this one down and then maybe this one across a bit, I think that might just be it with those 4 pineapples. Let's have a look at it in preview mode, so to speak. So we're going to swipe down with 3 fingers, tap copy all, come up here to the top, swipe down again and tap paste, and then we're going to drag this up here into this top corner here, and you'll see 1800 pixels there if you're using a 12-inch canvas like me. If you're not, then that should just say half of whatever your canvas size is. I definitely think 4 pineapples is all this pattern can take, at least with them at this scale. I think maybe if we just move this one up a bit and then rotate this one around, that might just work. Let's give it a try. So let's invert this one so we can see what's what. Because I think I might need to move this one up past the top here, I'm going to bring these edges of the canvas into the middle. And the way we do that is by duplicating this layer. Normally I do it off to the side because it's off to the side that I want to go, but because it's off the top, I'm going to go top and bottom with this one. So we're going to bring it all the way down, snap it to halfway, and you'll see these orange lines there. And then we're going to bring the other one and snap that up to the top, halfway, and you'll see those orange lines there. And at this point, it's going to look like what on earth is going on, but we're going to do the same one to the green diamond. So we'll duplicate that, drag one halfway down to the bottom, and then this one will drag up to the top. And then we can pinch those together. You can see if we zoom in, we've got this little visual there that everything's in the right place. Well, the problem now is that actually goes beyond the bottom, so what I would do is I'm just going to actually add a layer above and just put another one of those on there. And we'll get this one in the right place, and then we'll just erase the other one. So let's move this one, let's try it there. We'll have to move this one when we go back to the diamond view as opposed to the X view we have here. I'm going to hide this one, and this one I'm going to erase. And like I said, it doesn't matter that we're erasing parts of this diamond here as long as we keep the corners intact. And let's also erase the top part of it there. So each time I make a new pattern, there's always some little tweak or variation on using this method that I end up needing to use. So actually it's good when stuff kind of happens like this, because then I get to tell you how I came up with that little tweak or variation and how to work around it. So now we can merge this one down. We'll delete the green because that's not correct anymore because we've moved things. And then with this, we just need to put it back where it was. So we duplicate it, and we bring these edges into the middle now. So we bring, with snapping on, this one down and into the middle, and then this one up to the top. And as you can see, the orange lines told us they were snapping together in the right place, and we've got this as that extra visual there. So now that we have this, we can duplicate this around the edges to fill out the other parts. Let's invert the colours on this one. And then this was the one here that we need to move, so we can draw around that with the select tool. Spend as much time as you need refining the position on these. The fewer motifs you have, actually, the more difficult it is because you've got less things to play with. So spend the time that you need doing that, and then when you're ready, we'll start illustrating in the pattern layer. So let's turn the pattern layer on. Turn the opacity on these pineapples down a bit. And I'm going to start drawing on this layer here. If you've watched all the other tutorials in this series, you should by now have a lovely mini collection of fruit patterns. You'll know that we draw that in colour first and then change it into white afterwards, and then scribble over the top in a clipped colour. So I'm going to start drawing these in the colour that I intend them to be, because it's easier to see that way, and then we'll add some texture afterwards. So let's use this mid-orange there, and I'm going to use my tracing crayon from my Pattern Maker canvas brush set. For this pineapple here, the top of it goes off the canvas, so we'll illustrate that in our extra group afterwards, but we can still draw the bottom part of it in this main group. Let's swipe right on these and let's make them white. So we've alpha locked that, and then we're filling the layer with white. I'm going to add a layer above, clip it to the layer below, and then I'm going to scribble over it with this colour here, using the Fun Sketcher brush. And actually, maybe we'll achieve that kind of that texture by shading them that way, but I think I'll do it with a bigger brush. So let's get that crisscross pattern by drawing them this way. So let's start with this top spike on one layer. I'm going to draw this top spike on all of them, like this, and then we'll just layer each spike up one on top of the other. These ones we'll do as part of the extra section, so we'll just work on these three. Fill those in, add a layer above, clip it down to the layer below, and let's make this top one, well, we've got 3 green colours. We'll start with a lighter one on top, and then we'll add another layer above. I'm going to put the sketch layer on top of my pattern group, and I'm going to change the blend mode to linear burn on that so that we can see through it there. So this layer that we just added above it, I'm going to grab the white again, and then the next one down would be this one. So we'll draw this one in now, then we'll grab a different green. And we'll add another layer above, tracing crayon again, and then this one here would be the next one we'll do. And choose a different green again to scribble over the top with. Right, so now that we've done this, we just need to repeat this bit over in the extra group. So I'm going to swipe down with 3 fingers to copy all. And in our extra group, turn that on and swipe down again, and we're going to tap paste. Just turn the textures off up there, and then we can duplicate this layer, drag it down to halfway until that snaps into place, and then drag the bottom one up halfway until that snaps into place. And we can pinch those two together, and then we just need to repeat illustrating those pineapple bits on this one. So now that that bit is illustrated, we can build this pattern out. So we don't ever want to flatten stuff and not be able to go back to it. So what I'm going to do is duplicate this extra group. I'm going to delete the pasted in bit and the extra part and flatten that. Now we've got a flattened copy of that, so we've got all the layers in here still to go back to if we wanted. Then our pattern, I'm going to do the same with that. Just hide the layered extra group first so we can see it, and we need to come down here and turn this pattern marker off, and we can duplicate this pattern layer and flatten it. If you ever find that you've reached your layer limit and you're not able to duplicate a whole group, you can get around this by just hiding everything else apart from the group you want to copy. So you can turn off the background, you can turn off the sketch, and there you've got just your pattern group showing. So you can swipe down with 3 fingers, copy all, and then you can come up to the top here. Assuming you've got at least 1 or 2 layers spare, you can then paste and get it on a separate layer that way. If you're at the point where you can't even add 1 more layer, then I would suggest coming out into your gallery, duplicating the whole thing, and then having 1 flattened and 1 intact. So let's carry on with this one. I'm going to hide all of that group. Let's turn the background colour on. Let's bring these 2 back out. So this needs to go back at the top and bottom of the canvas, and the way we do that is add a mark on each of the corners so that we can grab the whole canvas, and we're going to move it the same way as we did when we were transforming the sketch up and down. So duplicate it, tap to transform, and we're going to bring it halfway down, and then bring the other one halfway up, making sure it snaps into place there. Then we can pinch those 2 together, erase those marks. One thing we do need to do before we flatten this is to put these underneath the pineapples. So we need to drag that underneath there. Now we can pinch to merge these 2 together, and then we can build out our pattern. So let's put the mark across the corners again so we can grab the whole canvas, and duplicate this and fill in the corners with it. There we go. Then we can pinch these top 4 together. We can erase those marks, and at the bottom here we can just erase those. Now we can sort out a background colour for this. I'm not sure I want to keep this one. Let's turn our textures on first so we can get a better idea of how the colours are going to look. We could always do like 2 backgrounds. You can always have like a collection that's got the same motifs and you just switch out the background colours. That's the thing I often do when I upload to Spoonflower. I think I'm going to go with the blue because I think that looks best on this pattern. So that's your pattern tile ready to export. You could save that as a PNG or a JPEG. And for now, I'm going to just build out a little preview of it here in Procreate. I'm going to swipe down with 3 fingers to copy all. And then at the top here, I'm going to swipe down again and tap paste. Then we can drag this up to the middle until it says 1800 pixels there. Swipe to duplicate, and then we're going to move it across to all the corners of the canvas. Just drag this one down, just zoom in there, make sure there's nothing fishy going on where the pattern joins, which there isn't. So let's pinch to merge these 2 together, and that is our pattern. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed making this pineapple pattern, and I can't wait to see your finished patterns over on Instagram. Tag me at Becky Flaherty so I can see them and share them in my stories. If you've got any questions, let me know here in the comments. All the links for everything I've used are in the video description. If you want to see more videos like this here every week, then make sure you subscribe here on YouTube. As well as sharing short tutorials on YouTube, I also make longer form classes which I publish on Skillshare, and that's where you can find all of my premium in-depth courses. If you're not already a Skillshare member, then use the link below and you'll get 1 month for free when you join. You'll get access to all of my classes, as well as all of the other great classes that Skillshare has to offer. Have fun, stay creative, and I will see you next time.